So I'm Lori Slicton. I teach anthropology at Skyline College. Been there for, I guess I'm in my 26th or 27th year. Love my job, feel very fortunate. I'm here really tonight though to address a long-standing concern for myself, but lots of faculty, employees, and that has to do with the accommodations for people with disabilities. The ADA is 30 years old, just about. The Rehabilitation Act, 1973, it's been around a long time, but we are very, very behind in providing accommodations readily to our faculty, to our employees. The unemployment rate for people with disabilities is extremely high. In fact, the Lighthouse for the Blind has an organization called 30% and Growing organization, and that's because the other 70% don't have jobs, and that's including professionals. So the ADA is really kind of a bottom rung legal, I understand it's the law, but it's a really low bar. What I'm really urging us to do and kind of inviting everybody to think of, and I've got a lot of wonderful colleagues here in the room here tonight, lots of red, to really work hard and to think about ways that we can improve working conditions for all of us. We are all only, to quote one of my favorite colleagues at Skyline, temporarily able-bodied, all of us. This is a protected group that we can all join at any time if we aren't in there already. So the Americans with Disability Act has been important in implementing, urging organizations such as ours to implement safeguards and protections and access to resources for all their employees, whether it's for temporary issues or things that continue. Challenges around disability, whether they're temporary or persistent or chronic like mine, can impact any of us at any time. They need to be mitigated, these challenges, in order for there to not to be negative consequences for our work. Most of us don't know anything about the ADA is, but most of us don't even really know what a disability is. But a lot of us are living with it and challenged by them. I've talked with a lot of colleagues over the last couple of years. A lot of people have come to me and we've talked. Nobody wants to come forward. People are afraid of stigma, of retaliation. They're afraid of losing their jobs, which kind of ties in with the AFT concerns of tonight. I'll go a little bit off to the edge, perhaps. So I'm here representing a lot of people anonymously. Okay, they prefer it that way. But I want to say that a lot of the faculty love their deans. But a lot of the problems start at the level of the deans. We need training for everybody at all levels of administration. Faculty need trainings. I'm hoping that we can have some flex day activities, some other kinds of trainings, but we need to have our administrators in the front seat. We all need to be better informed. We're just not. And we're losing people. There are people who have left our district, employees, out of tired, fatigue, frustration, exhaustion. We don't have any clear process. We don't have anything on the website. When I keep asking for website information, I get sent to the portal link, which tells me CSM, or SMCCCD. That shouldn't happen. This is not rare. Lots of organizations have this. There are many professional organizations that could help us get on board to bring us up where we need to be. So we are not there yet. The pace at which there is assistance, it's glacial among administrators. And the way that they respond to some colleagues is it just doesn't happen. So for myself, took me 4 years to get the medically recommended ergonomic furniture in my office. So I have visual impairment. I probably did not see, I know it was there, a phone for about 3 years. After my technology equipment came into I could not reach it and work and function properly. My office partner took them 5 years to get ergonomic furniture, again, medically recommended and suggested and assessed for, but just the follow-through. That's what I mean by glacial. And that's just a couple of people's examples. I want to promote not just the ADA, okay, but a culture of inclusion and access. So when we focus on building our buildings, rooms may meet the ADA, our campuses do not. Our campuses are so inaccessible. I mostly can speak for Skyline. I know of students, but certainly faculty. It is just difficult, if not impossible at times, to get where we need to be. And that's just true. Faculty may feel stigmatized, as I mentioned, about their disability, reluctant to express their challenges to their employers. They may fear retaliation. This is true and has been experienced by some. These are valid concerns, and they need to be brought into the light. We're not going to improve our climate, our morale, or our working conditions until we really have some honest conversation. That's what I'm hoping. Me being here tonight, not an easy thing for me to do for a lot of reasons, but I'm urging all of us to take this into consideration so we can promote an environment of advocacy and support. For the compliance, in compliance with human subject protocols, I think it's possible that we could interview people, do surveys, but people's confidentiality absolutely needs to be protected, where we actually reach out to disabled people and ask them what are their firsthand experiences in their work environment. I think Sally Swanson came in and did some internal and external accessibility assessment of campuses. We've never gotten the results. That was late last spring. I heard that there was a survey that went out, but not to the people who really traverse the campus all the time, is my understanding. It went to administrators, but not to students and not to us, not to our health center, who deals with the paperwork for people with injuries and issues all the time. We can do better. That's an easy one. We can do way better than that. We need faculty education, all employee education, workshops conducted by outside community organizations. We need some fresh air. We need some people who really understand and are well-trained in ADA protocols and procedures. People even understand occupational therapy, things like that to help us understand and navigate our environments, to have awareness. Talk about unconscious bias. Complaint after complaint, there's zero acknowledgement of people with disabilities. There's verbatim, there's wordage, I should say, verbiage, but not really any action. This is a problem. And this is why people don't come forward. They think, what's the point? I have to reinvent the wheel every time someone has an issue or comes forward. So I do think something that's informal, kind of low-key, easy, where people feel unthreatened as much as possible, flex activities, other trainings. I would love to see the board really take some leadership role here and our administrators to really reflect and with the rest of us on what we can do better. Asking ourselves what constitutes a disability. So if it's here for 6 weeks because I just had a knee replacement or a hip replacement, that's partial disability, at least for a period of time. What is an essential function? In part, that's why we're here tonight, is workload. What is an essential function? And if I can't meet that, what does that mean? And is it temporary? What does that mean? I've not yet seen an explanation of that as far as the ADA is concerned in my work environment. What is a reasonable accommodation? We need answers to that, an explanation. Really, it's a conversation, probably a moving subject. If I need an accommodation, what do I do? Where are those forms? Lots of government agencies and forms. Caltrans, you just download it. If I'm going to a meeting and I have a sensitivity to perfume, you download the form. We don't have any forms. They're held in human resources, I guess, somewhere. I don't know. I've had lots of interactions. It's not been made known to me.
Are we getting kind of I know that you have this all written out, so are we getting?
Yeah, so I think we need the creation for a faculty disability resource center. I hear this over and again. Our students have beautiful resources. We have none, nothing. So we can do that. There are organizations out there that are modeled on our DRCs. Let's make sure that we can have that for our faculty. The Center for Independent Living could come and make trainings for us or some other group. I'm open to that. I'd be happy to work with anybody.
Appreciate all the information, and I see that you have it in writing. If you would mind sharing that with Chancellor, maybe we can have a further discussion on those.
This, most of it was printed in the Advocate either November or December, and then I added to it and modified a little.
Sometimes I don't always get the Advocate, so.
We'll get it to you.
Oh, we'll get it to you.